Driving basics number 10, priorities. Oh. So there's a term that gets branded around a lot of the way, and that is right of way. I had right of way. There is no such thing. We have priorities. Now, the way I approach any priority is I look to take it if it's safe, and I am always ready to give away my priority to avoid having a crash, and pretty much that's it. I don't give away my priority for courtesy, okay? So that might seem, I think to a lot of people that will seem strange, because it is seeming to be just a rising trend where it's almost fashionable. It seems to be the done thing to give away your priority, often dangerously, as proved in this video. So this was from a dash cam group. For once, the cam driver actually doesn't do anything wrong. And a lot of people were wrong to point out the cam driver, saying he could have done things better, but actually he did spot on. He's got a right turn with a filter lane, and there's a car waiting in the minor road. So of course he has priority over the car in the minor road and needs to give priority to oncoming traffic, which he's correctly doing. An oncoming red car flashes the headlights. Now that is a no-no in the driving world, and I know you all do it, you little herberts, but it is a no-no, okay? Especially in this kind of situation where you've got more than one vehicle waiting to do something. And that confusion leads to this. Now the cam driver did nothing wrong. They positioned really well for a right turn. Like I'm going to do now, I would stop here if I was going to. I'll let her cross. And that's rule H2, isn't it? And she is safely across. Lovely job. So if I'm positioning for a right turn, I want to block anyone from the minor road from coming out. It's my priority. And people almost feel like you're a bad person for doing this nowadays. Look at some of the comments in that group. It's common courtesy to let people out first, etc., etc. I'll show you a few of the comments now. And there's nothing, I never teach a learner to let someone else take their priority. There's not many situations I can think of where it happens. Priorities exist so that we don't have confusion. Very simply in the video, the red car should not have flashed the lights. The oncoming traffic on the major road should have continued. And when a suitable gap was found, the cam driver would have turned into the road, and then the other car will turn out whenever it's safe. It exists so that there's no confusion. Priorities exist. And when people decide to give away their priority because they feel bad about it, or whatever it is, they feel sorry for people waiting at a give way line, then confusion reigns. Now remember, if you do something like flash your headlights or encourage someone out of a give way, etc., etc., if something happens, you are partially culpable, okay, in the eyes of the law, because you have given away a priority. You shouldn't be flashing your lights. The only meaning of flashing your lights is to alert people of your presence. And of course, that is clear as day why you shouldn't do it. The other thing to consider is if I'm behind a car that decides to just randomly give away their priority, I have to respond to that. And if I'm not switched on or I'm distracted, that can be quite dangerous. It also can be pretty irritating, right? So if this car in front of me now was to just randomly stop and allow this person out from the give way lines, I'd get pretty annoyed. If they were to let these pedestrians cross, I'd get pretty annoyed because it's not the pedestrian's priority here. So priorities exist to keep us safe. What seems to be happening is people feel bad for people having to wait because it's busy, having to wait for a little while, and they just dangerously give their priority away. You can see from the comments, people are saying, I always let someone out first. Why? I know that will sound harsh to some people, but as driving instructors, we teach priorities. We do not encourage our students to give away priority. The only thing I absolutely insist with my learners, if it's their priority and it's safe, they take it. And they must always be ready to give away any priority to avoid having a crash. Because of course that's better. If I have to give my priority away and some like random parked cars or something like that to avoid a crash, I honestly don't care. I honestly don't. And it comes down again to attitude. Attitude is just the biggest thing I'm trying to sort of get across to people, that need to chill out a bit. Just stop getting wound up by things, isn't it? So at this point, just if I could quickly ask, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm happy to do videos on requests. So if there's things that you're not sure about, I'm literally happy to go and do a video on it. I really enjoy the filmmaking, and this is an enjoyable hobby, if you like, that I put into all the time that I put into this, but I really enjoy doing it. So please do subscribe. Whether you're a learner, whether you're a new driver, whether you're driving 40 years, you know, it's really nice to hear comments. I had one of my subscribers say recently that he's been driving on the road 40 years, but really loves learning things from the videos, actually, you know, picks something up. So that's great to hear. Thanks very much. I really appreciate it if you do. So I've got a right turn coming up. Now, whether there's cars or not coming out or going to be waiting to come out of it, I've no intention of giving way to cars coming out from this road, but I am ready. There you go, there's one. So I'm going to position inside the keep clear and block that car. Then when I have my gap, in I go. Now, I'm sorry if this offends you, but I don't feel sorry for that person that was waiting to come out from the give way. It's my priority. I am going to take it. Now, that's something I see a lot, is when there's a keep clear painted in the road, people think that you are not allowed to wait inside that keep clear. And so they wait outside the keep clear, which then causes confusion and changes the priority at the junction. Because very often the person waiting inside the keep clear, or outside the keep clear, sorry, will allow that other person to go first. Treat keep clears exactly the same as box junctions. All they do, keep clears and box junctions, remind you what you should already be doing. So this right turn without a keep clear on a box junction, if I was to wait for an oncoming car, I would wait here. And that blocks anyone from the side road from coming out. It gives me a better view into the road, which makes it safer. And it makes me have much less time to have to turn in, so I can take a nice sized gap. And we're back to driving basics number 8, clearance to park cars, doors width of space. If I see any live vehicles, looking to slow it down even more. There's one potentially. See her walking around the back now, nice and slow. There we go. No problem. Everyone goes home safe. So with a keep clear and a box junction, all they do is remind you what you should already be doing. You should be keeping the junction clear here if there was traffic. But if you're turning right, you should be positioned where I just showed you. So you absolutely can wait inside a keep clear, just the same as a box junction, if you're turning right. And that is the reason why. So there's no confusion over priorities. And there you go. Nice example of just giving my priority away because of what the oncoming person has done. They did have a gap a little bit further up, decided not to take it. But it really was nothing out of my day. I'm anticipating that happening anyway. So if you get surprised by stuff, that's often when people get the most annoyed. But nothing surprised me there. I was ready for it. And to give my priority away there really just doesn't bother me. I'm quite happy to slow down, have a little wave to each other, carry on with our day. Wonderful. Can't see, we're back to driving basics. I think number 4, about opening the window. Physically see that is clear, now I can emerge safely. Hopefully the aim of these driving basics series is just to get you thinking a little bit more about, again, like I said, very basic things that actually learners are taught. And some of us might have forgotten or have never done, have never been shown, never thought about doing. There's all sorts of reasons. Remember, it's come down to anything that goes slightly wrong on the roads is usually down to KUSA, which is knowledge, understanding, skills, or attitude. There you go, someone flashing the lights, but I'm happy they're letting me through. So I can respond. And if you're a learner, you absolutely can respond to people that flash the lights, because that's a big question learners ask me. If someone flashes the lights at me, can I respond? Yes, you can. You just need to be happy that they are actually intending you to go through. It's pretty obvious there. It's very slow, isn't it? But my attitude, again, is that I must try and give this person priority. It's their priority. And when they decide to give that priority to me, fine, I'll take it. Thank you. So here I'm going to go up to that busy right turn, and I'm going to turn right from the minor road. And my advice is, if you're passing me, don't feel sorry for me. It's my choice. I'm going this way. Sometimes I haven't got a choice, but don't feel sorry for me. I accept I'm coming from the minor road. I'm turning right. It could take me a little bit longer. Most people, certainly trained a long time ago, and newer drivers as well, will do this, go to neutral. So like my car's now turned off. I'm resting my clutch is better. So if someone decides they're going to flash the lights at me, it's going to take me a little while to get going. So my advice is don't do it. I will wait for a gap. I can see one coming. So I'm going to get ready and I'm out. Did that really take me that long? No. So there's no need to let me out. I will get going. I will find a gap. Don't feel sorry for me. Now, tagging on to priorities, one of my users, one of my subscribers, James, great name, by the way, great guy, I can already tell, suggested about a video which is absolutely perfect for this one, and I fully agree. It's about passing parked cars, obstructions, and people that do something a little bit cheeky that definitely is rising. And that is that very often, as James said, you will be approaching a situation much like I had earlier, where I've had to give away my priority because someone is driving towards me on the wrong side of the road. So obviously I give my priority away. Now, someone following that should see that I'm waiting to come through. It is my priority, and they should stop behind the parked cars and allow me then to proceed. And what happens more and more often is people see that someone's forcing their way through or is being allowed through because maybe they were already out, and they tag onto that and they jump on. And that, again, it shouldn't happen. You should be courteous, looking ahead, going, oh, that's their priority, I should give them this. I don't see that as that difficult personally. Tell me, do you love me? Tell me, does it turn around? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There you go, thank you. But we're ready to give that priority away in case they do keep coming. No problem. No problem. Everyone going home safely at the end of the day is the ultimate goal of driving. And I mean, essentially, the long-term aim is 0 road deaths. That's so ambitious, but I love it. It should be the aim. If everyone was driving how I drive, and that's no brag, but there would be 0 road deaths. And it's sad to say that it, probably will never happen. But as driving instructors, we drive a certain way. You're always going to have human moments, I think. But when those human moments are accompanied with a bad attitude, a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding, or a lack of skill, that's when you get the real problems. And again, car waiting right down the bottom, but I'm not going to feel sorry for them. It's my priority. There's traffic behind me, so if I start giving my priority away because I feel sorry for that person that's having to wait, there could be issues. And this person, I think correctly, gives away their priority because they're actually blocked from coming through. Give them a nice little thank you, and that's good. That's good switched on driving. That's an occasion where it would make perfect sense to give your priority away. Personally, a lot of driving instructors will be the same. It's a pet hate of ours where people constantly give away their priority. It affects the flow of the roads. It can be quite dangerous, as shown in the video earlier. There's much more dangerous ones than that, of course, that we've all seen, I'm sure. Many people in the comments were correct. This is why you don't flash your headlights. But are they guilty of doing it themselves? Who knows? There are big no-nos that driving instructors have, and they exist for a reason, because it leads to problems. If it's your habit that you do flash your lights at people to let them out of a junction, when you're not thinking as clearly, which we all do, and maybe you're distracted slightly by something, there goes that natural habit. So I tell my learners about the way I drive, because a lot of my learners will say things like to me, I bet you don't drive like this, like you're teaching me when you're just in the car. And I say, well, it probably would surprise you to know that I actually do. Now, the reason is I truly believe in habits. And for example, if I give you the most basic example, when a learner is instructed to take the next road on the left, we expect them to check the centre mirror, check the left mirror, think of a well-timed signal, and then obviously the rest up to turn. Now, to someone that's been on the road a long time, etc., that might seem a bit extreme. God, every time, centre left mirror. And I will pick them up if they're not doing it, certainly if they're not doing it regularly. And they wouldn't get a driving fault necessarily on the driving test. But the reason is, what I want is for them to naturally be checking those mirrors every time they know they're turning left, because that avoids situations like this. If it was that van driver's habit to check the left mirror before he takes a left turn, that wouldn't happen. Literally simple as that. So going back to the habit thing, it is my habit to drive as per the standard that I teach. So I have a lot of occasions where I am slightly distracted. We all are. Our brains can only think of one thing at a time. So if I'm thinking about, God, I'm really hungry, I can't wait to get home for that steak dinner I've got tonight, that's actually my thought. And I will be subconsciously, under unconscious competence, be driving. Now, if it is my habit, for example, to speed, I will be speeding, okay, while that's going on. And the amount of times I've come round a bend, I'm thinking of something else, there is a speed van in the road, and I look down, check my speed, and I'm doing exactly the speed limit. And that's just because it's natural to me. I don't have to think about it. And that is what I'm trying to instill in my learners. And that is what we should instill in ourselves. So make it your natural habits. Things that you find that you're doing, maybe flashing the lights, right? Challenge yourself. Say, right, this week, I'm going to make sure I don't flash the lights at anyone unless it's to alert myself, alert them of my presence, okay? And you'll find you have to think about doing it, because you'll go to, oh no, not going to do that. But then it becomes natural, then it becomes second nature, and then you don't do it. And then you avoid situations like that, and accidents happen all the time because someone flashes the lights, someone gives away a priority. Make it your habit to take your priority. Don't feel sorry for the people in the road. Then, when you are slightly distracted, you will just do these things naturally. And like I said, if everyone drove like me, there would be 0 road deaths, hopefully. So let's get the comments going. Let me know in the comments what you're like about priorities, etc. Do you think I'm being over harsh, saying don't give your priority away, etc.? It'd be really interesting to know. I love hearing people's own experience that you experience on the roads, and your sort of attitudes that you have to drive. And it's really heartening actually to hear a lot of real good comments. I'll see you for the next one.